Minimum wage talks end today. Labour await Tinubu's nods. European Union raises Schengen visa fee to €90. That is unpaid to 36. Federal government tightens security on a third mainland bridge. That is as they raises concern for vandalism. Page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Local refining may crash petrol price to 300 naira per litre. That is coming from Murtala refineries. Page 35. Police students, 25 others abducted on Abuja-Nasarawa Highway. Page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. Democracy Day, federal government to hold parade youth summit dinner. Page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the front page of Vanguard newspaper, we have quite a lot of stories, among which we have this one on page 12, saying how Jonathan, wife, others forced BK on Rivers. That is coming from Clark, page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. Experts see danger around the minimum wage battle. Quite a lot of writers saw that. The first one said President, the National Assembly will determine our next action. That is coming from the Labour Union. Alleges conspiracy between governors, OPS. TUC writes Akpabio for labeling strike as act of economic sabotage. Governors, senators, reps should also earn 62,000 naira minimum wage. Moving on to the Guardian newspaper this morning before we finally delve into the analysis. Economy and throes of credit squeeze sheds 7.1 trillion naira in 3 months. And this is concerning the rising cost of borrowing. Northern elders fault lawmakers offer solution to open grazing. Kano declares emergency on education, says 4.7 million pupils sit on bare floor. Coalition tells AB to accept 2023 election outcome. ILO conference may stall minimum wage talks as the leaders jet out of the country. The stories, alongside others, are what we will be discussing this morning with, of course, Maestro. Good morning, Maestro. You're welcome.
Good morning. My pleasure.
Okay. And how was your weekend?
Was okay. We thank God. Spent part of it here.
Of course, yes. Talking about Igbesiaye. Okay, let us talk more on the Igbesiaye of Nigeria this morning.
Yes.
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 Okay, and I'd like us to start from the pastoralist and also talk about grazing, open grazing, and all of that. We have some northern elders saying, see, we cannot do this to the northern part of Nigeria. This is what they feed on. This is their livelihood. And as Nigerians, they shouldn't be stopped from and what they call it is their human right and also their right as citizens to be able to move freely in the country.
It sounds right, doesn't it?
It does.
It sounds right, but it is not. You will need to understand. You will need to understand what's really going on, what the story is, and it starts from what you call northern leaders. That's not totally true. It's more of Fulani leaders. The truth is, you have Fulani who are northern leaders. You have people in Bauchi. You have people in Benue Plateau. The Middle Belt is regarded as North Central, and those are supposed to be northern leaders too. So the people who are totally enchanted, who are fixated on this lifestyle, they are Fulanis, and the leaders are Fulani leaders in the northern part of the country, and they are very powerful, and they are so entrenched. So when they talk, they tend to color it as the position of the North.
Is it not?
But if you look at the senator who brought the bill, he's supposed to be a Northern leader too, right? And he's from one of those states where the farmers have almost been wiped out, where you have a lot of sacking of villages going on. So the people who are representing the farmers, are they not Northern leaders too? So the first thing you need to know is don't get sold on that Northern leader title, because you have Northern leaders on both sides. Those who are supposed to be the food basket of the nation, the farmers, as represented by by leaders from the North, and then those who are representing the pastoralists, who are also leaders from the North. So they tend to obliterate the essence of the Northern leader who is not seeing things their way. So that's the first thing you need to understand. The second thing you need to understand is that when you listen to some of the senators who are talking, representing the pastoralists, that's the cattle headers and so on, they are strictly representing, the interests of the cattle header. They weren't talking like senators representing the interests of everybody. Okay. At the moment they started talking on the floor of the Senate, they totally forgot that many lives have been lost in the course of all these things that we're talking about, that the aggressors are like 95% of the time the cattle headers, heading cattle into other people's farms. They make it sound like, everybody has the right to go and, move freely. So do you have the right to move freely with your cattle into other people's farms and destroy everything there? Is that what the law says? But they don't talk about that, about the destruction and everything. That's why they are quiet. When lives are lost, when farms are sacked, they prefer to go and do some peacemaking and say, okay, what's the cost of what's destroyed from your farm? Sometimes it's lives and they can't cost that, but they find a way of making peace. And that's peace of the graveyard, which I suppose is what this senator is trying to say, okay, let's have a national position on this thing, leading to a national law and so on and so forth. And people have been talking about a lot of things, but I think it's not about enacting laws, It's really not about enacting laws. So they are wasting everybody's time with all these stage thing that they are doing in the Senate. The truth is, it's about enforcing the law.
The implementation.
It's about enforcing it's about law enforcement. You see, right here in this state, a law was made against cattle herding.
Yes.
In many states in the southern parts of the country, laws were made against cattle herding. But those laws were not enforced. So you still see cattle herding all over the place, right? So it boils down to state police. State police, you see, some of the reasons why some people entrenched interests don't want state police is because state police will enforce certain laws that they tend to ignore deliberately, pointedly. And so if your state made a law and you are, infringing, you are breaking the law so recklessly, it's because your state government does not have police. If your state government had police, you wouldn't dare, because you go to jail. You will face the music. But the only police we have right now is the federal police. So in all those states where they made the law, it couldn't be enforced. Now, let me even go further. Before these states made the law against open grazing, Nigeria had laws against you inflicting damage on your fellow man. But you know what happens? When these people invade farms, kill, steal, destroy, the law falls flat on its face. The law is never enacted. That's why some people want this central police system to continue. So, and I tell you, believe me when I tell you that most of the people who dabble into issues don't even understand a quarter of the issues. So when you begin to talk, oh, governors are going to use the state police, blah, 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 you're talking about just about 5 or 10% of the issue. But the benefits of state police far, far outweigh whatever the politicians are going to do to one another. So this is one of those things. The current law enforcement system is incapable of ensuring that it enforces the law against grazing, open grazing everywhere. So now you begin to ask yourself, so when these people make this law, or ranching in every state of the federation, and you still have the current central police situation, who's going to enforce that law when they bust out of the ranches? What will happen? Nothing.
We had the Northern Elders Forum asking the federal government to swiftly set up a national pastoralist commission to act on all matters affecting the well-being and interest of citizens whose livelihoods depend on livestock rearing, and not on the other part of the fact that, okay, there's people that may be affected by whatever it is that
it's even ridiculous. You know, it's always a ridiculous request to say federal government should take special care of certain people who are doing business. Why? So if the federal government is going to take care of this pastoralists, they should take care of the agrarians too. They should take care of the fisheries. They should take care of everybody who's doing business. You see, but because they have this special assessment of themselves and whatever interests they represent, which is, you know, most of the time dubious, because it also boils down to the issue of identity for me. Now, if you're coming from Senegal or from Central African Republic and you come into Nigeria with your cattle and everything, then you become a Nigerian. They have never discussed that part. You must automatically become a Nigerian. But if you are coming from Benin Republic, you're not supposed to become a Nigerian, even if you're a Yoruba person. You speak a version of Yoruba. You're not supposed to become a Nigerian. You're still, you know, a citizen of Benin Republic. So we haven't even talked about that. And that is what gives Philip to this terrorism thing and, banditry and so on, because they have a solid interest inside of the country defending, these people who flood in. And I tell people almost all of the time, there's nobody in Sokoto or Zamfara or Yobe who's a Nigerian Fulani who wants to relocate suddenly. It does not exist. It's either he's been up south, he's been down south, he's been enjoying his life, for a long time, and he's not ready to go anywhere, so we understand who he is. Or he's in the north and he's settled. He doesn't just wake up to say, you know what, let me herd my cattle and go and sit down in the south. It's not true. It's foreigners who are a version of the Fulani stock who are doing those things. They are moving in, and what happens in Nigeria is our Fulanis will come from the north during a particular season. You see, when it's becoming dry, the dry season is approaching, they begin to head their cattle immediately after the rain season towards the south, because there will be lush, for their cattle. There will be water for their cattle. They will come down, and when it gets to rainy season, they go back up north. They drive their cattle back up north because they will also farm. It's planting season. Then the cattle is safe. It will have grass. It will have everything. That's the cycle we're familiar with. You understand? But now they are telling us that these people who flock into Nigeria and begin to look for, they will destroy anything that's on their way. They don't care because they are not Nigerians. But we are not talking about that. And that Senate is not likely to address that.
Okay. That or not, let's go pay some bills. While we're back, we'll continue this conversation.
Akidibo 88.7 88.7 FM.
My baby is 6 months old.
Oh my! 6 months old? Wow! Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam. From 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Chinedu! Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is that jollof ready?
Right on time. Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix. It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma.
Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
Ọmọ ti dé, ọmọ tuntun jòjòló òkú oríire. Má jáfara o, gbọ́dọ̀ sọmọ lẹ́nu láàrin wákàtí kan àkọ́kọ́ tọmọ délé ayé láti fún un ní àkọ́kọ́ sí omi ọyàn aláwọ̀ òféèfé yẹn tí wọ́n ń pè ní colostrum. Àkọ́kọ́ sí omi ọyàn colostrum yìí ní gbogbo èròjà pàtàkì tọmọ rẹ nílò láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìlera pípé. Ó sì ń ṣèrànlọ́wọ́ láti dènà àrùn fọ́mọ rẹ. Rántí o, fọ́mọ rẹ lọ́yàn láàrin wákàtí kan àkọ́kọ́ tó o bímọ. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ANRIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock last.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
Alright, we're back and this is still the dailies, and before we went on that break, we were talking about the Northern Elders asking federal government to set up a pastoralist commission to discuss the well-being and interests of citizens whose livelihoods depend on livestock rearing. So
They are simply looking for a way of a large chunk of money dedicated, because they will be the leaders. They will be the ones assigned to that pastoralist commission. And billions will now be budgeted for the commission yearly. And they are going to be the beneficiaries in the long run. So, and it's not going to solve any problem. Because already they don't appear to be interested in solving that problem. Every time you talk about it, it appears somebody is brushing them wrongly. Brushing them the wrong way, in that, oh, this is our way of life. This is what we prefer to do. We don't want anything to touch cattle herding all over the country. And some of them who feel like, look, even the current cattle herding system does not, it's not pointing in the direction of any serious business, because cattle herding is not going to be as lucrative as cattle ranching. Everybody knows that. But it also encourages, it mobilizes crime. They don't like talking about those things, which is what piques me. You have to be able, as responsible people, to be able to talk about these negatives, because it's affecting the country so badly. All the farmers who've been sent off their farms, some of these farmers took serious loans from banks, and at the point of harvesting, so they could return these loans, you herd cattle into those farms and then eat up the farms. And if they talk, you kill or maim them. So, like I said before, any National Assembly, act in the direction of commission, public hearing, and so on, is not going to solve the problem. All these people will just be getting sitting allowances all over the place. They will be getting a lot of money. What will solve the problem is state police. When you have state police, states will enact laws, and those laws will be enforced by state police.
Okay. Before we talk about state police this morning, on this issue of pastoralist commission and all, should we say, is this safe for us to say Nigeria as a parent is being biased towards a particular part or a particular tribe over others?
No, who is Nigeria? We're all Nigerians. But the problem is where you have to look is at our evolution. You know, yesterday on the Yoruba program, we were talking about slave trade. And some people thought slave trade happened just a few years ago. And so shortly before independence and so on. No.
400 years.
400 years. Oh, okay, you were there.
Of course.
For 400 years, it was going on even before Nigeria, tons of years before we came into being. So our evolution strengthened some people. If you're conversant with Nigerian history, the preferences of the white colonialist was clear. And so when they were living, they preferred the power that would play the role of proxy for them to reside in the northern part of the country. And that is why you see that, some individuals and regions are quite powerful, and that's our reality. When I talk about the two-power dynasties in Nigeria, some people might not understand, but that's the Northwest. That's the so far the senior power dynasty, and the Southwest the junior power dynasty. That's the truth. Some people might want to argue it. I'm not saying it's what should be, but I'm saying it's what is, and it's because of our evolution. So it's not because certain people prefer or anything. So people have been defending their positions in this evolution. And so you don't expect the Hausa Fulani to also pack his own advantage or leverage and just hand it over in the interest of Nigeria. So they are going to fight every step of the way to ensure that they secure whatever the evolution has been able to give them. Therefore, other people who are the receiving end also have to fight to ensure that we redress the situation.
Okay. Everyone should fight for their
Because
interest.
if you look at it, look at how much we are buying tomatoes now. Look at how much we are buying pepper. And it's because, in parts, of the irresponsibility of our leaders in the southern parts of the country. We should be able to do away with importing those things, even internally.
Each state should be able to do that.
Why won't we be able to plant our own tomatoes and plant our own pepper? And you tell me that you are doing political leadership. What kind of useless political leadership are you doing that you could not direct your energy towards feeding your people? You have to go and import from Benue, from Zamfara, from Bauchi, from everywhere else.
It seems like importing is more like culture, whether internally
It's
or
because we've grown lazy. We've abandoned all our villages. People have emptied into Lagos and Abuja looking for what's not lost. And it's because, we lost that political leverage, leadership, the kind of leadership of substance that Obafemi Awolowo gave us, with all the agric centers all over the Southwest. Those agric centers, they gave us almost everything, but now they are bus stops. If you go to Ikorodu, you hear agric bus stop. If you anywhere you go in this Southwest, when you hear agric bus stop, that was an agriculture center. This Kolapo Ishola that they turned into this thing. We had massive dairy there.
Wow.
Yes. You could only begin to imagine what we were getting from there. All this, everything that you could get from cattle. So when these soldiers came, they decided to be eating the cattle, using it for their tombola. So you have these things, ingredients. So you had the grandparent stock, you had the parent stock, and so on. So the fattest ones were the ones the soldiers during their administration were eating.
But the thing is, we have so many things.
They ate everything up with suya, tombola, and everything. And of course, if they wanted to go and bury their in-laws until they finished everything. You know, sometimes you see governors who are fairly active, not as much as you want in the direction of agriculture, but it's okay. It's ridiculous, honestly, and very painful that we're here lamenting that the food has gone up. We no longer produce what we should be producing. What we used to produce, we had our own yam. Today, the Igbos still have their yam. The Northerners have their yam of different types. We no longer see our own yam again. Ishuoko. Now we eat Abuja here. We wait for Abuja to come.
Okay, Maestro, a second.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
Is this how we would continue concerning agriculture in this country?
Well, it depends on if we continue with this crop and kind of leadership. Yes, it's going to continue. There is no shortcut around it. It will continue. But if people are really going to bond and then get intelligence about your situation, and you don't wake up every morning to be spewing anger all over the place because you just think it's the best way to express yourself. Anger without intelligence will get you nowhere. And I've always said this: you need to understand your problems. You don't understand 10% of your problems, but you want to talk 100% about it. So it's only when you understand a great deal about your problems that you could talk intelligently about them. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh.
All right, talking about state police, which is supposed to be something that would enable this agriculture to become more vibrant in the country. We have a news coming from the Secretary of the National Economic Council, Anako, disclosing that concerning state police and the suit and the reply of the governors, the Borno State governor has kicked against the establishment of state police in the country. The reason being that, saying the governor said, for Nigeria is not mature for state police. Some states governors can use it to wipe away other tribes apart from their tribes. He was quoted saying that. He said there have been calls for the establishment for state police, but then again, Nigeria is not ready because decentralizing the police force would worsen the security challenges in the country.
No, it's not true. People who talk like that, there are people who are they are dedicated to ensuring that. You see, it shouldn't even be coming from a place like Borno State. Borno State that's almost wiped out by terrorists, and every time that same government will be calling on hunters, local hunters, and be arming them up. And it's the same Borno State that is saying no to state police. So you understand that it's playing the role of a spokesperson for a group of powerful people who are not interested in state police, because you need to understand what this central police system means to some people. To some people, it means you could commit a crime and they will sit in judgment wherever you committed that crime in this entire nation. They could say, all right, bring the case to Abuja. And on the road to Abuja, the suspect dies. Oh, they say the suspect was trying to escape, so something happened. I'm telling you about what just happened. So, if you say all crimes are local, why are you now issuing instructions to take cases that happened in a particular locality to Abuja? To do what?
To the headquarters.
So it's how you use the state police, but it's even a tiny part. You have a lot of things going on that, a full program of dailies will not be able to treat what this federal police system means in its truest essence. what it means in negativity. I just told you that crimes will be committed by cattle herders on farms, and this central police system is unable to do anything about it. Why? Because the hierarchy will stand against the law enforcement everywhere, against these people. So why don't you have, something that speaks back for farmers? Like these senators and these powerful northern interests are speaking up for the cattle herders now. You don't have anything like that for farmers.
Why?
No, yes.
Do we not have people that are ready to represent their interests? I mean, these people, they are certainly Nigerians.
Let me even tell you that the few people who are speaking up, in favor of farmers and this and that, they are doing it very, very carefully if they are politicians.
Why?
Because ultimately, you will need the entrenched political interest in the north beyond, sometimes even within your own area. But because, this central police could work for you. But if you are a sworn enemy, one day you will say you want to become anything centrally.
And then you need their votes.
They will play a role. So you need to understand that these things are real. So the politician deals with them as his or her own reality. But most of the time we walk by these facts of our national life, either because we don't understand them or because we want to pretend they don't exist. They exist very powerfully. And if you open the can, you will see the worms.
So because of what our leaders need politically from these people, or whenever it is that they need their help, the right thing that's supposed to get done, never get done.
They trade all the way. Sometimes they need you too, so they trade.
With the right,
I say they have an understanding in the political circuit. They have an understanding, and so I can tell you, as I'm sitting down here, the much I understand about my country, that nothing is going to come of this bill till the end of this administration, until the end of the first term of this administration. Nothing will come of this bill.
And that, may I say, that is actually going to bring nothing more of, let me say, more doom to agriculture in Nigeria.
Of course, agriculture is suffering badly because, you see, that's why our economy is like this. In the past, we've always had economic downturns. Some people are unaware of this. Maybe they just came into consciousness, or they simply never tracked our issues. The truth, however, is that nobody talked about hunger in this land before, because you always get something to eat at affordable cost. Planting was going on around the clock everywhere. But these days, over time, this planting, I mean, you eat pawpaw now, you eat mango in its season, you eat corn. I mean, how many corns could you eat before you're okay?
Up. Wow.
Beans was like that. We were planting our beans here. They were bringing some, we were planting. But all that's gone. So now we cry, we're hungry, food, high cost, and so on. Because what used to balance these things out, those things are no longer there. Today now, if you plant your plantain, you're watching it. People who want to steal it are also watching it. So before it really gets to the point of harvesting, you better go and harvest it, because those who are watching will harvest it before it's time. So why? Because there's so much that we've lost. And then, so much of these places have been given to, you're looking at concrete jungles everywhere. And unfortunately, we don't even know the right kind of questions to ask our leaders.
So, agricultural sector in Nigeria is in this state, and that is how we are going to continue, because we're supposed to.
I mean, how many people could you feed from your flock, from your cattle? But this farmer could feed a lot of people from the farm. So why should it be so difficult to know the direction we should favor in this kind of conflict? More so that the farmer is excuse me, the farmer is not the aggressor. The herder is the aggressor. He is the one moving around looking for what his cattle would eat. And when he sees a lush farm, he will go there. He will head his cattle in there.
What humans are supposed to feed on.
Yes. And if the farmer asks, why would you do this? They beat him up and do some unspeakable things to his family on the farm there.
There is another news saying fuel and food lead as import hits 12 trillion naira. And yes, we have importation again concerning food and all this still boils down to agriculture.
Well, that fuel part is hopefully going to be sorted out soon.
With Dangote.
With the Dangote and maybe Port Harcourt refinery. And that's why some people are now saying, okay, pump price could come to about 300.
300, there with local refining.
And at the heat of the argument about this Dangote and Port Harcourt thing, they were telling us that it was going to be marginal. It was going to be this and that. And I said, okay, let's wait till then. No, if you're right or if we are right, let's wait till then. But now I think they are capitulating. But we need to get there very quickly. This should be one of the hottest concentrations of this government to ensure that they free the Dangote refinery, wholly, and then work, extra hours on Port Harcourt refinery, so that the two will hit at the same time.
And then there will be some form of...
There will be a lot of respite. I mean, if things drop to 300, pump price, there will be a lot of respite. And it will help the dollar too. Because of all these dollars we are still packing to go and import fuel. It's just crazy.
Marketers have started to register with Dangote refinery ahead of the loading. So I hope that means that things are beginning to speed up concerning Dangote refinery.
Well, about time too.
All right, then, let us talk about the minimum wage, because today is supposed to be the day that the negotiation and every other thing concerning the new minimum wage ends. It's supposed to end today, Monday, as we are expecting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's decision on the new minimum wage. And what we still have on the table is 250,000 naira from the labor unions and 62,000 naira from the federal government. Last week, we were talking about... I think the strike was relaxed in court because the federal government agreed to pay more than 60,000 naira. And now it is coming with 2,000 naira on top. I'm guessing.
So, as labor shifted...
250.
As they've been on 250 for a long time.
It is still on 250.
They started from 600. Then they came to 640 something.
Yeah, they came to 400.
Then they came to 400 and something. And then they came to 250 now.
And federal government is on 62,000.
I expect labor to be serious.
they are still not serious.
They are not. They know they won't get anybody to pay minimum 250,000 naira. So let's be able to support them if they are saying. Already, do you know that governors are already saying we are not paying one kobo beyond 57?
Yes.
So not even up to 62. So where are they now looking at for federal government to pay them 250 and state governments to say we're paying 57?
Okay, before we go further on that, because we also have a news saying if the minimum wage would be 62,000 naira, senators, reps,
it's ridiculous. They shouldn't be reasoning like that. It's so petty.
Okay, when we're back, we'll continue the conversation concerning the new minimum wage. We'll be back.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
5 Alive Poppy. So much pulp. So many ways to pulp it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pulp in every bowl. Everyone pulps it their way. So, how do you pulp it?
àbẹ́ orí nǹkan ẹ̀bùn pàtàkì látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run lọ́mọ jẹ́ fáwọn òbí tómi ọyàn sì jẹ́ ẹ̀bùn Ọlọ́run fáwọn ọmọ ó ní gbogbo èròjà aṣaralóore pẹ̀lú omi tọ́mọ rẹ nílò fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́ máa fọ́mọ rẹ ní ọyàn nìkan rántí o omi ọyàn nìkan fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ARIN iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 No Lie Relaxer Kit. We get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
What? Me, I know deal.
You not even sabi wetin dey happen for town. You see this Lush Hair Relaxer so?
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
That's so. Lush Hair Relaxer Kit na correct. We no go make your hair cut. We no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well. Come buy your own.
Lush hair. Be beautiful.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún, ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
Kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye. Máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ARIN iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Chinedu! Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is that jollof ready?
Right on time.
Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma. Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock last.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your State Ministry of Health.
5 Alive Poppy. So much pulp. So many ways to pulp it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pulp in every bowl. Everyone pulps it your way. So, how do you pulp it?
I wanna be as strong as Captain Amazing. I'm with amazing, real, that is what I'll be. I've got strong bones, sharp eyes. I'm an amazing mentor, that's right. I'm an amazing, real, that is who I am.
Tell me what you need.
Amazing day cereal.
Golden Penny Amazing Day Cereal. Nurture them for the future.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
Okay, we are back, and the conversation before we left was concerning the new minimum wage, 250,000 naira and 62,000 naira from the part of the federal government. Maestro, all this is supposed to end today, but we still have conflicting figures.
We'll see how the president goes about it. But I don't believe they should be doing that kind of conversation that senators and so on should also earn 62,000 naira if you were somewhere talking about minimum wage. Do you think you will intelligently say that senators should earn the lowest? It doesn't make any sense, and they should be as sensible as possible. because this is a very serious issue. You cannot be approaching it with this kind of unseriousness, even if you are supposed to be leading your people. I think if you are rejecting 62,000, make it very clear and come down to something close, because this is a matter of people supporting what you're standing for. But if you are putting us off with all these time-wasting tactics and so on, I don't understand it. If you are insisting on 250,000, you know you're not going to get it. So what are you now doing around that figure? I think at least they should say something like 150. It's not like they're going to get 150. But I
are so sure they wouldn't get 150.
They will not. I mean, it's look, if I could, I would say minimum wage should be 1 million naira. Because I know it's really bad. But we're talking reality here. So something you are not going to get, why are you sitting down there comfortably? Come closer to what you might get. I mean, if you are talking 150, I will be saying, yes, now, things are really bad. Some people will be saying that too. And that's where you want to be. Not to be making, comic remarks like senators should be earning 62,000 naira. These are people whose pensions are even more than 62,000 naira already. Some of them have retired and they are earning more than 62,000 naira. So let's be serious.
Okay, we should be serious. We hope that whatever it is the outcome of today's, whatever it is that we get from the president would douse all the tension that has been on ground since last week.
They will find the common ground because they are closer to one another than you think.
Okay, then let us go to the story concerning Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, Nigeria backs Biden's ceasefire proposal. Backing a ceasefire proposal or calling for one, whichever one it is. But now, it is happening. It is coming from Nigeria. What do you say to this, Maestro?
Well, the Biden administration has been proposing ceasefire for a very long time. It has even gone into certain territory which no American administration has ever gone in their relationship with the Israeli government. They have never fought or disagreed openly. In many years of that satellite situation. But this time around, I don't know, maybe it's because of the elections coming. Biden has been very, very strident in calling on Netanyahu-led administration, Israel, to say, look, slow down on Palestine. Withdraw troops. Let there be some kind of ceasefire, so that because it doesn't look good. There's no way that it looks good. There's a way you would exhibit a lot of muscle against an almost defenseless state, that all the evil done by Hamas will just wash away in our consciousness. Because we're looking at the people, you're throwing bombs, you're doing everything. They can't really do it back to you at anywhere near the level you are doing it to them. So, and in this humanity, our consciousness is going to place you in a very dark place, while our hearts will go out to the underlings that are dying every day. People tend to say, well, yeah, they started this, they did something bad. Even that starting is questionable. We can really talk about starting, and the clock will not start when these Hamas people went into Israel on that fateful October day. So I believe that the Biden administration is doing the right thing. When it started doing the right thing is another matter entirely. But at least calling for Israel to withdraw its troops and let there be some kind of peace is the right call.
It is a right call, and we hope that other countries around the world also do the same.
Well, really, some countries in Europe are even recalling their ambassadors, from Israel. A lot of things are happening that never happened before. And so, but Israel is, let's not forget, also fighting for survival. Israel is absolutely surrounded in that place. And most of those states in the Gulf are saying, we do not recognize your existence here. We will want to push you into the Red Sea and forget about you. And so that is also there. But there is a way you go about these things that whoever was even standing up for you before might, you might be swimming against the tide at some point. And I think Israel in that state at this point, they need to withdraw and then re-strategize.
Okay, let us read some comments on our Facebook page. This one from Adebayo Bode says, in northern Nigeria, especially the northwest region, the level of illiteracy is very extreme and politicians always seek to satisfy their retrogressive interests just to get their vote.
That is not true. One thing that you need to understand is that, you see, we need to get knowledge. The average person on the streets of the northwest is educated. He's literate. He could read and he could write. Maybe more than any other part of this country. You see, but the choice is different. They could read Arabic and write Arabic. That is one civilization which we tend to, just slight. But the truth is, we look at the Western education and then we say that's the limit of education.
The supreme.
Well, it's even ridiculous to discountenance other education that are available. And that's Arabic education, which every kid in the north will go into the, school, madrasa. And then before he hits 10, 12, he already could read and write. And you sit down comfortably and say, you see, you have a lot of fun. It is your choice of education that is not prevalent there.
Okay, on the issue of minimum wage, this one from Afiz is saying, honestly, federal government and governors are not serious with the matter. How on earth would federal government just add 2,000 naira with 60,000 naira they put on the table before? Meanwhile, governors are proposing 57,000 naira. I think federal government should double the allocation of state government since inception of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They should do the needful.
I don't suppose this person understands the issue. So if the federal government doubles it and the state government are saying 57, what is going to happen at the end of the day? So the battle will continue, right? Or you will say, okay, at the federal level, now let's have different. So if you are having different cadres, then why do you want to bring the problem to the states? Why would that industrial action then spread to the states? Which is why I said some of our people don't get the gist. The point here is that labor is looking for minimum wage that is uniform. It's not looking for staggered. It's looking for one that is uniform. So it has a problem already with governors saying we are not moving an inch from here. So I don't even suppose that the federal government so much is your problem now. 36 states of the federation, they are saying this is our position. So somebody is ahead that position with 62. So I think if you had about 75,000 in mind, now is the time to say it.
Okay. All right then. So Lokpe Adeyemi says the only solution to the insecurity ravage in the land is having state police and not establishment of any commission because security is local. Against states need security agents to help them enforce their laws, which is a lacking part as we speak. Okay, let's allow people to call in to join in the conversation right now. The phone lines to call remains at 0704 1001 8870 or +234 704 700 8873. But before then, let's listen to this because we need to enlighten on ourselves on how to talk on the radio. Yes, what we do on radio is to talk, but then there are some limitations as to what we can say and what we cannot say. So let us listen to this.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the world hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
All right, the 0704-1001-887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name or where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is George Akube. I'm calling from Olishe Junction, around the area here in Ibadan. Now, quickly, I would like to comment on that of a minimum wage that your analyst in the studio, they actually said something about that NLC was supposed to not have be on their feet. Stand on their feet on 250k. And I'm proving this to you, ma. If NLC are even our household on 150 or 100k, I'm sure this government will push them to like something around 30 or something around 45 or 50,000. So now I'm saying this because of the experience I've had in the past. I'm more a unionist, and at the point I was part of the team that went to Berlin to meet the present President Tinubu to bargain when they were about to increase Lagos City University school fees from 25,000 to 500,000. That was the initial plan there. But we went there and bargained and we insisted and said no. Nothing can above this 250,000 and 25,000. We know they will surely increase it. But we went on the bargain of no, you cannot increase. But they have the intention of 500,000 before. That was when they now push. We were forced to. We pushed them to that arrival. Them saying, okay, we'll surely increase that. Let's do 250,000. So what I'm saying in essence is, if NLC are not on that high, request or demand, I'm sure this government will not even be talking about this 62,000 the government last year. Good morning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. Yeah, so let us read more comments before we continue to, because Latif Ahmed said, thanks for this program. Do nothing. Take the other part of the West East for granted. And yes, Olatunji Yusuff, no problem. Our reporters will get there this morning. Adebusuya Ademishoye says, what about unscrupulous conversion of farmlands to a housing estate in the name of investment? Can't government in the South legislate on this and make intended decision on agriculture? Make local government work and allow local areas economically viable.
We are too lavish with our English sometimes. What is unscrupulous, turning of this to that? That's
Good morning.
What we are saying. All right.
Hello, good morning.
My name is Michael Okwadi Igboho, calling for Igboho in Oyo State.
You're welcome.
Good morning,
for your contribution.
Good morning.
I'm happy to tell you that I'm hearing you loud and clear from the city of Igboho.
Thank you very much.
I quite agree with you. The Labour and the federal government, they are closer to each other. They are partners in progress. We know what is going on. Maso, keep on keeping on. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution from Igbo. Attilade Gbadageshin says, on cows, we need state police and restructuring. If they can't end Nigeria by allowing every region to go, we should practice true federalism where every state will manage its resources. These people do play on our intelligence. For example, alcohol is not allowed in most of the northern states. If they see anybody selling it, they are Isba police with the straight. But they collect the tax collected from alcohol in the name of federal allocation. Is that not funny? I blame our leaders in the south for not doing the needful. Okay, let's practice a true federalism where every state will control its resources. We also have this comment from Steve from Atila Degwadigeshan saying, Maestro is very right on central policing system. In my area here, the DPO is a Fulani man in Yoruba land where his people are terrorizing. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Makita. How are you?
Fine, sir. Your name and where you're calling
Good
from?
morning, Mr. Maestro. God bless you, sir.
Good morning.
This is Amaba Aro Adetla from Liberty Road. That Maestro. Let's remind our governors who said that they cannot pay 50,000 naira. Now, when they are going on retirement after for 8 years, they will receiving gratuity more than 1 billion. They will build the house at Abuja and their own state. They will be going on leave after retirement to retain medical service to them. Why are they going having those money? Those people who are working for you, they cannot pay them 60,000 naira. This is wickedness. God bless us.
Okay,
I don't want us, to be matching these figures. You are talking about an individual, about 1 billion. You're talking about, sundry, a lot of people who will be taking. So let's focus on what people should get. When we want to treat the excesses of the politicians who take so much after they've taken so much away from us, it should be another, discussion entirely. They don't go together.
Okay. Adebusuye says, why can't we have differential salary system? It still boils down to pseudo-federalism we have in Nigeria. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, we lost that call. 0704-1001-887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, ma.
Good morning, ma. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning, Maestro. God bless you.
Good morning, ma.
I'm Debra from Ibadan.
Okay, your contribution.
Your contribution, your word concerning the slavery yesterday night and education curriculum. Is it not the same progress? These European countries, with this education that cannot lead us to, is it not part of the slavery that is being given to us in our education life? Is it not to enslave us further?
Well, we are even willingly flooding to Europe and the United States today.
Willingly.
They are no longer capturing us. The program is solid, but it's a whole discussion on its own again when we want to talk about how educated we are today and the direction to which we are putting that education to use and what it's doing to us.
Okay, 0704-1001-887. Rashid Anelka says, lies upon lies. All politicians keep saying that lies to Nigerians at every given opportunity. Where do we expect light? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Elijah from Bodija.
Okay, sir. Your contribution, sir.
I would like to support Mr. Petro by saying that the labor should be very serious in their demand. We are part and parcel of the system. We know what is happening there. We are permanent staff. The political office holders goes and come back. We know what Nigeria is today. We know what it is yesterday. And they know where Nigeria is going. They should be very serious and go and sit down and do the rightful. They are the one planning with the political office holders and then cutting away our resources. They cannot say they were excluded. They were part and parcel of the system. And look at our mindset now. All the useful parts of our laborers are now flying out. Is that how they do in the Western world? When things are going wrong, they sit down and look for the way out. Now, our people are getting now, they call it Yapa. So, which means we are not expecting anything from this country. Is that the right thing?
Okay.
The youthful age they're supposed to correct the anomalies, they are running away.
All right. Thank you so much.
So, thank you for your comments.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 0704-1001-887. 0704-1001-887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, man.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Alali Moses from Alaki area.
Okay, your contribution.
On those cattle rearer people, but we have some statement that some their people they are make some statement that we allow them give them land for some area. There's nothing like that. We never did that. They are killing many people. They are kidnappers. But only I don't know what's wrong with the people. And I want to ask, what's the meaning of born to rule? That statement made that we are one Nigeria. You see, only I don't know the craziness that worries those.
All right.
Thank you so much.
I don't suppose you want to use such words. But the truth is, everybody chose what they will be called by. In Oyo State, we are called pace setters. Pace setters to whom now? That's our choice. So you can ask, who are you setting pace for? It's not a constitutional, it's not a law thing. It's a choice thing. And just like you pick your colors, the colors on your flags and so on by state. In Oshun, we say the source. Is it everybody's source? So if anybody says they are born to rule, I don't get angry because they chose whatever they wanted to choose.
Okay, you can also choose
if you like you can choose anything you want.
All
so
right,
don't just get angry
says
about that.
on the workers' salary, the federal government is the problem and they are never serious. So why is it that anytime anybody says something against the current president, okay, 0704.
You should read it. You should read it because that's some of the ridiculous positions that people. You see, when people are discussing, you should make your opinion known. You don't go after other people who have made their opinions known. It shows that you are not capable of joining decent conversations. Every time you have to go either after the analyst or go after some other people who are running comments. It shows us that you are behind, in that. So you should sit aside and let adults hold that conversation.
The question is, why can't senators take a minimum wage when all they do is share?
All right, go and give them minimum wage then. If you can do that.
Okay.
I mean, if that's real, if you can do that, go and do it. Give them 62,000.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Babatunde. Morning. My name is Babatunde Bala.
Okay, your contribution.
I'm calling from Ibadan.
All right.
Yeah, my partner. Good morning, everyone. Maestro.
Good morning.
To you. Yeah, it's well with you. As I said, I will just say, we are talking about the minimum wage, which I listened to this morning. This minimum wage, I wanted to know, is it for those people that are artisan also? Those people that are not belonging to the federal government or the state government? What about those people that are outside? What is their minimum wage? Nothing for them. Just how many people are clamoring for minimum wage? How many people are getting the minimum wage? How is it that minimum wage is going to affect those people that doesn't collect any minimum wage? When you calculated the population of Nigeria, how many people are working for the federal government? How many people are working for the state government? And how many people that stay with them? That's one thing I want you to know. God bless you.
All right, there are very few, but they matter. And in there, so you have this kind of three-pronged situation. You have the federal government, you have state government, you have organized private sector that you're talking about. And they tend to be negotiating for all. But we know that it falls down all the time. That's what it does.
Okay, let's go pay some bills now. When we're back, we'll continue the conversation in the studio where you get to call in or drop your comment on our Facebook page, of course, on what we've been discussing this morning. We'll be back.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
nǹkan fararọ lóòótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n Áfíríkà máa forí tì í lọ́dọ̀ wa ní Total Energies. Ó ti lé láàdọ́rin ọdún tá a ti ń gbé ìmọ̀ jáde lọ́tùnlọ́tùn nípa pípèsè àwọn epo ẹ́ńjìnì quartz tó ń dáàbò bo ẹ́ńjìnì àwọn ọkọ̀ ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ yín tó ń mú wọn ṣiṣẹ́ dójú àmì tó sì ń jẹ́ kí epo ọkọ̀ jẹ́ àlòpẹ́. Epo ẹ́ńjìnì quartz wà fún gbogbo ọkọ̀ ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ ìbáàjẹ́ ọkọ̀ pẹtiró, diesel, ẹ̀lẹ́tíríkì tàbí hybrid láti ṣiṣẹ́ dójú àmì tí ẹ́ńjìnì ọkọ̀ yóò pẹ́ tí yóò sì pèsè ìdẹ̀ra fún ẹ́ńjìnì láti dín èéfín kù. Dín ìnáwó rẹ kù pẹ̀lú epo ẹ́ńjìnì quartz tó ń fún ẹ́ńjìnì ọkọ̀ ní ìdẹ̀ra kí ẹ́ńjìnì ọkọ̀ rẹ máa tuntun sí i kó sì lálòpẹ́. Máa lo Total Energies ojúlówó epo ẹ́ńjìnì láti ìgbà pípẹ́.
A lè dáàbò bo ọkọ̀ ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ rẹ ohun ìní rẹ.
kò ní sú wa kò ní rẹ̀ wá o ẹ máa fi ètò mádàmídòfò ṣayọ̀. bí o bá ń fẹ́ ohun púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ilé-iṣẹ́ mádàmídòfò rẹ kò sí igi méjì òbí nígbó. Yes Insurance Group ni ẹ bá dòwò pọ̀ láfikún sí iṣẹ́ mádàmídòfò ilé-iṣẹ́ wa ẹ tún lè jẹ ìgbádùn àwọn àǹfààní ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan bí ètò ìdínwó ìdámẹ́wàá lórí ilé ìtura ìdárayá ìwẹ̀ ìtura ilé ìtajà ìwé ìwọlé síbi ayẹyẹ àti àwọn ètò mìíràn lórí ìpinnu ọjọ́ ọ̀la. bí wọ́n bá wá bi ẹ́ léèrè pé kí tilẹ̀ ní ilé-iṣẹ́ mádàmídòfò rẹ ń ṣe fún ọ gan-an tara ṣàṣà fún wọn lésì pé ilé-iṣẹ́ Health Insurance Group ju ọ̀rọ̀ mádàmídòfò lọ.
Láti túbọ̀ jẹ àwọn àǹfààní pàtàkì yìí ẹ kàn sí wa lórí ìtàkùn ayélujára www.healthinsurancegroup.com ìyẹn ní HEIRS Health Insurance Group. Ìgbésí ayé ìrọ̀rùn wà níbí.
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 no-lie relaxer kit wey get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
What? Me, I no deal.
You no even sabi wetin dey happen for town. You see this Lush Hair relaxer so?
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
Na so, Lush Hair relaxer kit na correct. E no go make your hair cut. E no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well well. Simply time. Come buy your own.
Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
Chinedu! Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is the jollof ready?
Right on time. Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix. It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma.
Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
Láti dènà àrùn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru àti àrùn mìíràn pàápàá nínú àwọn ọmọdé fọ ọwọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú ọṣẹ àtomi tó ń dà ṣooro ní pàtàkì jùlọ tó o bá lo ilé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ tán lẹ́yìn tó o bá ti ṣàǹdí fọ́mọ tán kó o tó ṣoúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ tàbí kó o tó fún un lóúnjẹ àti pé o tí ọmọ rẹ bá ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru fún un ní oògùn oníwóró zinc lẹ́ẹ̀kan lójúmọ́ àti ORS ní wákàtí mẹ́rin tàbí kí ẹ máa fún díẹ̀díẹ̀ nínú ife èyí á jẹ́ kọ́mọ rẹ lè ní ìdápadà omi ara àtọkùn. Bákan náà yọjú sílé iṣẹ́ ètò ìlera tó bá súnmọ́ ọ jùlọ láti gba ìtọ́jú fọ́mọ tó ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣe iṣẹ́ ARIN iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Ó yá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Màámi, ẹ fi mílíkì sí ni.
Kò di dandan ìwọ tó wò ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
Ǹjẹ́ mílíkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
Ṣé ọ̀rá wàrà náà ṣàtò?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. Mílíkì inú ẹ̀ péye mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílíkì sí i.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
Fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Milo 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun, mílíkì inú ẹ̀ péye ó kún fún káṣíọ̀mù láti ràn àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Milo, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo. Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Okay, 070410018887. Maestro, Amotekun commander wants outfit upgraded to state police.
Well, I don't think that's the direction. Upgrading Amotekun to state police might not be it, but having state police built from the scratch, and then a lot of people who are currently serving in outfits like Amotekun could now be taken into that state police you built from the scratch, because it must have a concept. It must be conceptualized in a way that fits perfectly the state in context. And you know, a riverine state would be formed differently. That state police will be formed differently from a state like your state, for instance, these things matter. And then crime, at the risk of sounding like that, has texture, doesn't it not? There are patterns. And if you're forming your state police, it has to be like that. And more importantly, I've always said this, it must not end up as governor's police.
It should be state police.
It must be state police, which then means that it won't be a police at the beck and call of the governor. It must be that kind of design.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Olajuwon Banji. I'm calling from Ibadan here.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Okay, thank you so much. I just joined in the program just this morning, and I want to show my level of interest and appreciation, especially to both the presenter and also our guest in the house. I want to appreciate the flow of communication, the power of language use. Not just that, the power and complexity of intelligence and giving us details and descriptions of the present state. I say kudos to you, our guest in the house.
The analyst. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, that's the analyst. And also to you, the powerful presenter. You've done so much beautifully well. There was that link of communication between you, which is giving us resourcefulness. On the matter long ground, I personally have gotten little or no interest in the issues with water government have subjected us to. This is what has become the sleeping and rising thought of almost Nigerians over these insatiable states. Yet, the government still not have anything to come to a place of rescue. But I just pray that the Lord God will save Nigerians from this state of discombobulation and also the stress of difficulties we have found ourselves. One more time, much more importance to my call is to appreciate the analyst and also the presenter. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We sincerely appreciate the accolades. Adeniyo Yewole on our Facebook page says the government should be objective and sincere when it comes to what is to be given as minimum wage, considering the economic realities. When the economy is favorable and the citizens can afford the basic needs of life to survive, this kind of back and forth in negotiation wouldn't have to be necessary. May God heal our land. The comment before then says, from this one from Tayo says, what will solve the problem of herders farmers conflict in Nigeria is to erase the superiority of one ethnic nationality against the other and let the National Assembly key into the creation of the state policing and restructuring the system, as cattle rearing or open grazing is a one-man business for. All right, it is about time we go leave the studio this morning again, but I guess we can still pick one more calls. But then this one from Tayo says, what will solve the problem of Nigeria? Okay, we already read that comment right there. He sent it one more time. 070410018887, and that is going to be our last call for today. 070410018887. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, we lost that call. Maestro, your pattern short. We will be having a Democracy Day celebration in a few weeks, and there are events lined up already for this day. We are waiting Democracy Day in Nigeria, Maestro.
Well, I on such occasions, I spend my time looking at the history of Nigeria and how it's evolved. It makes me understand a little bit more, you know. And I will advise young people to read more.
And I hope we're going to do that on the show on Democracy.
Yeah, because we are not exhibiting a lot of reading. We should. We should be reading a lot.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this with us in the studio. Again, tomorrow, Tuesday, we will be back to talk about our great nation, Nigeria. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and I'm hoping you have a great week ahead. Good morning.